Hello guys, welcome back to the day 4 of the flutter session for the 7 days. So yeah, in the previous tutorial or in the previous session we had actually ran the very first application and we have seen a simple counter application which is pretty basic, right? And we don't even know how it is actually working on the coding sense. So but now we're going to talk about that. So first of all, I want to remove everything right over here, so there is nothing over there. We're gonna write pretty much everything from the scratch. Alright, so first of all, first things first, we need to actually import the material package. So this is actually where a lot of widgets, so actually each Flutter application was built on widgets, so all the Flutter widgets are available on the material.dart file. So we can actually we need to import that, and we need to actually use that import, and we will be available with a lot of widgets so that we can actually fill up our entire application with that. So as expected, whenever you are writing a Dart code, there will be a main function. You already know that before, and yeah, that's how we start writing a main function. And after that, whatever you're going to write in this will be executed on the application. So in order to start the application, there is this function called runapp. This is actually a predefined function, and of course you can see if you hover over there, it is actually expecting a widget of type application. So we could actually pass a material app because we are building the application for Android. Material app, and that actually contains a parameter called home, which is going to be a page, you can say. So I had just given this is actually a widget. It is expecting a widget, and I need to create the widget of this name. You can give any name, whatever you want, but for now I have, for the sake of simplicity, I had just given the name as home. So I need to create this widget now. So there are actually states in widgets. There are actually two kind of states in widgets, which is stateless widgets and stateful widgets. So stateless widgets are something that doesn't need to change the state on app interaction with any interaction with the app. For example, if we had ran the application of the counter in the previous tutorial, where we have pressed the plus button and the values keep on changing, or the values keep on updating. And this is actually a best example of stateful widget, because in the stateful widget there need to be a situation that the screen or the entities in the application need to change on interaction. And in the stateless widget, if there will be no change in the state, or there will be no change in any entities in the entire application. So that's the point where stateless widget actually comes on. So first of all, I just wanted to print hello world on the screen, so I'm gonna use stateless widget because it would just actually print, and the state of the hello world doesn't actually change. The hello world doesn't change to hello world some other name concatenating with that. Now it doesn't actually change that. It would actually just print hello world on the screen. So that would actually doesn't perform any state change. So it would actually it will be a stateless widget. So in order to create a stateless widget, there are snippets you can use, stl and stfl. You can use this and hit enter. You can see a snippet of that will come, and you need to give this that widget name as home, because I had given home over here, so it would actually use we need to make the class name as home. Each state in the Flutter is actually we can create each widget in Flutter as a class name, and then we can extend that to the stateless widget. And in case if you are using a stateful widget, it would be a stateful widget over here instead of stateless widget. But there is actually recreating of the state, which would actually we need to create another class name, but we will figure it out later. But for now, this is actually how you can create a stateless widget. After that, this is actually a build function. So build function actually takes the build context. So build context, what it actually mean is the current state of the application. The context mean the current state of the application, and build is what actually something that is actually gonna fire up with the app page opening, so that it would actually open the page and it would actually showcase the content. So it is actually expecting to showcase a widget, so we need to return that. We need to return the same. So it is so in our case, container over here, its container is actually a widget. Container is actually just a box, so it is just a box. So if you run this now, it would actually only show an empty box, which is actually in the black color. So it doesn't contain nothing. So but we actually don't want to do that. Instead we can use something called scaffold. The name seems weird, but scaffold is one of built-in widget which actually have a bar. It actually have a bottom navigation bar, body, and floating action button, and these are actually some of the features in Android. So we can actually get all of these stuff. Like we have pressed the action plus button in the last application that we have built, and that was actually because of this thing, this entity. And by using this we can create a plus button over the bottom, very bottom right hand side, and we can actually perform some actions whatever you want. Even bottom navigation bar, which is actually like having 4 to 5 symbols at the bottom of the application over this part, and we can actually click on them and we can shuffle the pages, etc. But for now we're gonna use only two, app bar and the body. So app bar it again takes a parameter app bar, and it actually contain, if you just hover over there, you can see it could actually show some snippets, show some suggestions that it would actually take these parameters. So a couple of them are title. So title actually is expecting a widget again, and if you want to show some kind of a text on the application in Flutter, then you need to use text widget. So text widget again takes string as a parameter, and you can pass my first app. I had just given that. And after that, in the body I just wanted to give an empty container so that it would actually doesn't show anything, just an empty blank page. So we are now expecting only an app bar, which is it would actually show my first app. So let's debug that application, this code, and you can see the changes on the emulator in a while. This is actually a pretty basic code. I hope you guys understand what I had just explained. I would like to just go through again while it is actually debugging the code. This is actually a main function, so whatever you're going to write inside the main function will be executed. So I had actually initialized or called the run application function, which is actually expecting a widget and material app, because we are actually going to build Android application, and it is having a parameter called home, because these are actually widgets. So we need to create a widget called home, and I had just created that by extending to a stateless widget. As there are stateless and stateful, we are just going to, we just wanted to just print hello world on the screen. So I'm just using the stateless widget, and then in the build function, which would actually showcase the page or whatever widgets you want to showcase, that will be called the build function, and the return type of that is a widget. And scaffold is actually one kind of a widget, and which is actually having a pretty lot of features like app bar, body, bottom navigation, floating action bar, etc. That's where we actually use scaffold. And then we call the app bar, and there we had given a title and then a body with empty content, so that it doesn't actually have anything. It would be just an empty white sheet. You would here one application was just built in the screen. So yeah, there you go. You can see the output. On the other hand, you can see it was actually having a title of my first app and the empty content, because it has just given a container with nothing on there. So yeah, but I would like to showcase hello world on the screen page. So there is actually something called a center widget. Pretty basic English, right? and it actually have a parameter called child. So child is actually something that would actually have the that would actually showcase the stuff that it need to be. So I'm just would like to return a text widget over there, so that in the center of that screen it would actually showcase the text widget saying hello world. Explanation. And yeah, if I hit on save, it live reloaded the content, and this feature is called hot reload, which I had taught in the day 1 of the series, in the PPT. And yeah, there we have just built a very fast application saying hello world, but nobody actually uses that. This is saying just hello world, and it actually doesn't have any kind of functionality over there. Yeah, that's how you can actually create a stateless widget, but we actually wanted to create a stateful widget. So in order to create a stateful widget, we can use stfl home, because I had given home over here, and then it would actually having the build content and everything. It would actually create two states, two classes, because this would be a state, one of them will be a state and another will be the widget, so that it would actually keep on changing the state each time whenever there is a state change need to be occurred. So yeah, again we have to return a scaffold and then app bar saying app bar, but this time I would like to showcase you some kind of an action. We would like to build a simple calculator just for fun, and in the body I'm just using chain again text, which we have actually seen that in the stateless hello world, and it would actually see the output. It is actually saying that it is actually a stateless widget before, and now it is a stateful widget. So you actually need to restart the entire command or some other way, or the icons or the top. And you can see now it is actually saying the title as calculator, and then the center part showcasing the hello world. So yeah, but now that is let's talk about state change. So whenever I would like to make this a clickable button, I would like to create a simple button. So raise it button is actually create button, and it is actually having a parameter called on press it, which is actually a function type. So this is actually a function. This is how you create you can actually return a function over widgets, and then it again have a child parameter as a center actually have a child parameter, and again raise button also have a child parameter, and again in that we're gonna say click me. And yeah, whenever it would actually click the user click on that button, we would like to showcase some kind of change on the screen. So in order to do that, we would like to actually change the text to click me to click it. So to do that, we'll just copy this string. I would like to create a variable called info saying click me, and I will say that in the text to print that variable. So if I save this now, you can see it would still say click me, but the value of this is coming from here, and whenever the user clicks on click me, I would like to change the state. I would like to set the state, the new state. So this is how you can actually reset the state in order to view the changes. This is actually like reloading the state of the application, and set state function does the same, reloading that content. And I would like to say info is equals to clicker. So when the user clicks on it, it would turn to be clicked. So now I go here, now I clicked it. So you can see now it is clicked, and this is actually called stateless thing, because it is actually changing the state from click me to click it, because the change in state, this is called a stateful widget. And if you wanted to perform the similar feature in a stateless widget over here, which you have created before, it doesn't work out as you think, as we are expecting right now. So that's why stateful widgets are necessary. And pretty much most of the applications, 90% of the entire code base, whatever you're gonna run or whatever you're gonna create in the future, you're gonna use the stateful widget. So just get the practice of using the stateful widget instead of stateless widget. And yeah, that's actually what I would actually recommend on my side. So we'd like to just build a simple kind of a calculator stuff, just for fun now. So I would like to remove all this stuff over there, and I would like to use a container, as we have seen, and the container actually have a child parameter, you can see. And then I would like to create a number of columns. So simple English language, you can say columns, which would actually create a number of columns like this, one or other on the down. And unless child parameter, we have children, and where it would actually take, this is actually a generic type. We have actually discussed on the day 3, I think, or the day 2 in the object-oriented programming. This is actually a generic type, a list of widgets. It is actually expecting a list of widgets. So we need to pass a number of widgets out there. So we can pass multiple text widgets saying hello world, text hello world. You can pass one other on the down. Instead of giving a semicolon, you need to give a comma, because it is actually a list. And you can see each of them are printing one down the other, because those are columns. These are columns and these are rows, which should actually come on the opposite side way. So yeah, that's why they are printing on the down. And if I use the row over here, it would actually print a bit different. You can see now the result, it would actually print like this, because these are the rows, and on the converse, these are the columns. So for now I would like to just use the columns here. I would like to initialize. I'll just remove this thing now. I'd like to create a number a is equals to 10 and int b is equals to 40. Alright, so now I'm creating a button, a text widget showcasing our values, value a to a dot to string, because it is actually a string kind of stuff. Text widget actually expecting a string, so we need to convert this integer to string. And after that, similarly, we also need to pass the value b, which is actually b dot to string. And then we have the raise button, and on click on that button, we need to perform some action. So again, in the child parameter, I would like to pass plus button, because it would actually add both of those numbers. So we'd like to showcase the result also down over here by creating another text widget. So result is we need to create an integer for saving the result. Initially it would be null, res dot to string, and whenever the user clicks on the plus button, it would actually need to set the state, because it need to showcase the content again from null to some value, whatever it would actually calculated, and res is equals to a plus b, because it is addition. So if I save it, and you can see the changes over there. So it was null initially, and now if I click on the plus button, it actually turned to 50, because 10 plus 40 is equals to 50. Pretty cool, right? And you can also create multiple buttons of this, one down the other. So I had created 4 of them. One is plus, and another is going to be negation, minus, multiplication, and let's give it x, and division. And I just hit save. I would like to convert this to an integer to just round out the values, because it was an integer value. So now I just press plus, it was 50, minus, it was minus 30, and multiplication, it was 400, and division, it was actually like a 0 point something, so it just rounded off to 0 because I used this notation over there. And yeah, that was a simple calculator application that we have just built right now with just simple line of code. Yeah, I hope you guys were enjoyed creating your very first calculator application. And yeah, that's all for now, guys. And the upcoming tutorials are going to be much interesting. We are going to talk about a lot of new widgets. We're going to talk about a lot of new widgets, new stuff, including new animations and stuff, pretty much everything. So yeah, that's all for now, guys, and thanks for watching. Peace.